Call Hala, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai, Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai, Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai, the water, Abba, Call Kadash. I'm going to give double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone that have taught this truth, which I believe through the Spirit is 100% truth. And I pray that this lesson be edifying to the elect out there. And the title of my lesson is going to be the Earth Summit. And you know, recently they talked about, they just had this Earth Summit. I think it was over in Stockholm or somewhere over there in Europe. And you know, they're talking about saving the planet. And it's crazy. The main people that's talking about saving the planet are the same ones that's out here destroying the planet. But when you think about this devil, how he works, you know, he pretends that he's doing something good, but on the backhand side, we always know he's doing something wicked. Job, the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And how do we know they're the wicked? Because the wicked right now is in rulership. So a lot of people have a problem figuring out who's the wicked, you know. They think the Arabs or the Arabs or Ishmael might be the wicked. But the Arabs are not right now ruling the earth. They have their part, but they're not ruling the earth, you know. Moab or the Chinese, they're not ruling the earth. You have one people or one nation right now that's ruling the whole earth, and that's Esau Edom. He's ruling the whole earth right now. And you know he's ruling the earth anytime he can call a summit and make legislation and rules that's going to change how everything is governed throughout the whole world. And that's why they call it the Earth Summit. Our people are not there. The Israelites are not there. It's mainly led by the Europeans, Esau Edom. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And you know, he covered up the face of the judges, you know. You go back to iconoclasm when they went through and painted over Yahweh Shai and all the prophets and apostles, you know, and they painted them, you know, made them white, you know, gave them stringy hair and pale skin. So so-called white, they really red. Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 4. How long shall the land mourn, and the herbs of every field wither? For the wickedness of them that dwell therein, the beasts are consumed, and the birds because they said, he shall not see our last end. And the land is mourning right now, man. The earth is crying out. It's crying out for new rulership, man. You see, the bees have been decimated, you know, through the pesticides that they pumping in the air. You know, the air, you know, every time you look, they got planes flying, they got chemtrails. That's no telling what it's putting all in the air. It's different type of iron oxides and aluminums and all these type things that's in the air that's destroying the waterways. You know, not only affecting us, but it affects, you know, it affects the inhabitants of the earth, you know, the animals that's here, the plants, the insects, it affects all that. And the beasts are consumed, you know. And you can look back in history at all the animals since E has been in rulership that have gone extinct. You know, it goes back, you know, what they did to the buffalo. They decimated the buffalo just so they could starve Gad out. They put Gad on these reservations, and that's far out on hospitable land that's hard to farm and produce any agriculture. And then they took away their weapons and then wiped out their main food sources, the buffalo. And same way E is doing it today, because he put Jakes in these ghettos and put you so-called Hispanics in them barrios and put you native tribes into these reservations. But you know, they put you pretty much in food deserts. So in areas where you have to go to him for all your needs and wants, you know. Because you look at Gad today, if you ever done any travel, man, they way out in these places, man, you know, ain't shit out there, you know, so they rely on E for everything. And same way in the barrio, they do you so-called Hispanic tribes the same way. And Jake, you know, you go to Jake's in a ghetto, man, there's no major supermarkets that are selling, you know, good, wholesome food, you know. The food that they sell in these supermarkets, man, is, you know, is bottom shelf, you know. I don't want to stray too far off course, but pretty much, you know, it says, therefore he hath cursed devoured the earth. Okay, now he shall mourn, and herbs of the field and wickedness as well. And the beasts are consumed, and the birds. You see birds now, they falling out the sky. You know, a lot of birds have different type of variation of birds have gone extinct. And because they said, he shall not see our last end. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 1. Let me go back on Jeremiah chapter 24, verse 4, because I kind of broke it up a little bit. How long shall the land mourn, and the herbs of every field wither? For the wickedness of them that dwell therein, the beasts are consumed, and the birds, because they said, he shall not see our last end. Okay, Isaiah chapter 24, verse 1 through 5. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So right now the earth is all polluted, man. The waterways, if you ever flew on a plane, especially over the northeastern part of the United States, man, the waterways and throughout the heart of the country, the waters look murky, man. It looks look like mud, you know, almost toxic, you know, and that's where our waterways are. And the waterways is like, you know, your veins in your body. So the land, you know, is suffering up under the inhabitants that are in rulership right now. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. It's defiled, man. It's tainted. The air, you can't even breathe the damn air. You go outside, man, you start breaking out all kind of hives and rashes, and have problem breathing at night, you know. And people that never had allergies and asthma, now all of a sudden they develop these, you know, these diseases, you know, later on in life, you know, just from existing here on this planet, man. Defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws. They changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. And if we were to stuck to these laws, statutes, and commandments, man, it tells you how you're supposed to be a caretaker of the earth. How you're supposed to live in conjunction with the earth. Because this is the one ecosystem, and we're a part of it. We're supposed to be functioning with it. But now that this man is in he's in rulership, man, and his main thing is greed, man. It's about all that he can achieve for himself. He'll destroy everything else just to have it, you know. Strip mining, just all these things, man, that he has been doing, man, to working on destruction, because this is a man of death. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish, because they're haughty, man. They proud. They don't give a fuck about, you know, about this land. All they care about is their wealth and being in rulership. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. And right now, our land is spoiled, man. Something that's spoiled, you know, is brought to a position where it's almost no good, you know. If you have some milk, you leave it in the refrigerator spoiled, you pretty much can't do anything with it. And that's how he's pretty much done his earth. He spoiled his earth. He spoiled the waterways. He spoiled the airways and the land. The land doesn't produce like it's supposed to, because he's over-farmed in many places. with his fertilizers that he's been putting down and pesticides that he's been putting into the earth. So this man is pretty much, in a self-destruct mode on destroying the planet. And so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower. I have to take a user. Okay. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And that's in, let me go back up. That's Isaiah 24, verse 1 through 5. So behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down. Because this man has pretty much flipped the earth upside down, man. Like I said, it's on like a self-destruct mode. First Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2. Moreover, it is required of stewards that they be found trustworthy. So whoever's in stewardship over the earth, man, he's supposed to be trustworthy. He's supposed to treat the earth as, as you would treat yourself, but not with this man in rulership, man. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, helpful. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Then God, we're talking about Yahweh, said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. And that's what the Lord had ordained from the beginning when he created man, especially talking about you Israelites. We're supposed to have dominion. We're supposed to be stewards over the earth. We're supposed to be the caretakers of the earth, to make sure that everything is run in accordance to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. He gave us instructions how we're supposed to take care of the earth, and we're supposed to go by it. But this man, he makes his own rules. He's going to govern the earth how he chooses to, and it's all about him. His greed. Esau greed, man, it takes over. Genesis 1, verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said to them, talking about Yahweh, that's his Hebrew name, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth. So we're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. Supposed to fill the earth, not go out here and have abortions, man, every 2 times a year. Not supposed to be aborting your children, man. You're not supposed to be trying to keep the population down. And subdue it, and have dominion over the fish, the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over living things that moves on the earth. So we're supposed to be here to multiply and fulfill the earth and take care of the earth. Matthew 24 and 22. And except in those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved, but the elect's sake, those shall be shortened. The issues Matthew 24, verse 22, Shalakia. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved, but the elect's sake, those days be shortened. So if the Lord doesn't shorten these days, man, and come and make a move on Esau, Edom, there's not going to be any flesh left here on this earth, man. It's not only mankind, but all the birds, the fish, everything is going to be wiped out. It's going to go extinct under this man's rulership. It's like having a child, man, and you leave a bad 2-year-old or 4-year-old child at the house by himself for a long period of time. You won't have no house. He's gonna probably have your house burnt up, flooded, or it's just gonna be like setting yourself up for catastrophe. And that's the same with this man in rulership. He's like a child, man, left to his own devices over the earth. And you see the predicament that we're in now. And so This is what he called his way of fixing things now. He called himself having Earth summits. They've been doing this for a little while now. And it's like asking, this man is destroying the earth, was asking him to police his own self, and he's not going to do it because, first of all, his greed takes control. So all these major companies, they're not run by you Jakes, man. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're not running these major companies. All you are just workers in these companies. But this man, he makes it like, we are destroying the planet. That's how they put out in the commercials. It's not we, it's you. And mainly you global elites, man. You're the one that's destroying the planet. But you call yourself putting together an agenda that you're going to come out here and save us from the planet, man. But you the devils that's doing it, man, that's destroying it. You wiping out all the animals, the bees. You modified the seas and changed all that, defiled the earth. You defile the waterways, the airways. You're constantly putting these chemtrails through the air, these chemicals in there that we have to breathe. But yet we're supposed to trust you to come up with the agenda to save the earth. And that's what's, that's so hypocritical about it, damn well this man's greed is not going to allow him to do that. But he used that on one hand to say that he's going to take care of the earth, but he used it to cover another agenda so he can help destroy the earth and destroy you Jakes that's in it. And let's talk about some of these things he's talking about in his Earth Summit. And this is some of the things they're supposed to be addressing. Systematic scrutiny of patterns of production, particularly the products of toxic components such as lead and gas in gasoline, or poisonous waste, including radioactive chemicals. And let's check this out now. So they're trying to limit, with these electric cars, they're trying to limit Jake to get you out of these gasoline-fed cars and put you in these electrical cars and put you on the grid. But right now they say the grid can't keep up. So if the grid can't keep up with the housing, how can you add all these cars to it and it's still supposed to keep up? But all this is just used to keep you in control because like his main agenda is to get you all on the MOTB. And once he controls you, he controls your movement. He's going to put you on these cars and they're going to be smart cars and it's going to be limited to what you can do. It says such as lead and gasoline and poisonous waste, including radioactive chemicals. But check this out, though. But the major corporations out here, like DuPont, they produce what they call that Teflon-coated pots and pans, and they know that's in the waterways and causing all type of birth defects and chaos in our people. And they're not regulating that. They're still producing Teflon. They're still producing all type of chemicals that they're releasing into the waterways. If you want to fix it, why don't they fix that and address those situations? You still got lead pipes that's in a lot of these inner cities that's providing water to a lot of you Jakes, man. And they still not gonna fix it. They've got billions of dollars to send overseas to Ukraine and all these other projects they want to do, but they can't give you fresh, clean water, Another bullet point, alternative sources of energy to replace the use of fossil fuels, which delegates linked to global climate change. They talk about fossil fuels, and it's what they call it the carbon footprint or carbon emissions. Like I say, they're going to try to limit you on these gasoline cars and put everybody on electric. And another thing they're saying, too, they're trying to change the type of food that we eat and carbon-based food. So they said by producing these cows and chickens, and they produce methane gas, which leaves a carbon footprint, which is destroying the atmosphere. But you think this man, so he's using that as a reason to get rid of us having meat to eat. So he's going to try to come up with his imitation meats. And thus you see how they're getting ahead of the game. That's why these people like Bill Gates and these other people, they buying all this farmland and trying to create a product that's not even going to be meat, and tell them what the hell they're going to put in it. So you're supposed to trust these devils to feed you something that's going to be able to help you, you know. If you ever get a chance, look at the movie called Solvent Green. It kind of tells you the way that they're leading with it. They're always going to give you bits and clues of what they're going to do because that's part of their witchcraft. So look up the movie Solvent Green, and it kind of gives you a pretty good indicator of what they're trying to do with this food thing, this food agenda that's out here. And the food right now is already tainted as hell because it got all type of chemicals in it and shit that's destroying you. Especially the meats, you know, all type of agents they put in to help the steroids that they put in to help, you know, them to grow faster so they can get that fast production to put it back on the market. New reliance is on public transportation systems in order to reduce vehicle emissions, congestions, and cities and health problems caused by polluted air and smoke. The growing usage of limited water supply. Yeah, stop fucking up the damn water, man. Stop pumping all that shit for them chemicals. Regulate them factories so they stop pumping that shit in our waterways, you know? But, you know, they're not going to do anything about that. They're not going to regulate those factories, you know? Importance of protecting the world's oceans. Now, if you want to protect the waterways, and like I said, if we follow God's or Yahweh's ordinances, you know, the waterways wouldn't be fucked up. The air, we would have fresh, clean air to breathe. So I'm gonna show you how this man is a hypocrite, you know. Let me go back up here. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 1 through 5. Therefore has the curse devoured the earth, that they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. They have broken the everlasting covenant. And the covenant that we have, it gives you land laws that we're supposed to abide by. Certain foods we're not supposed to eat. So you're talking about the waterways. They're so worried about the waterways. Why don't they're talking about getting rid of the cows and stuff that is clean meat that we are supposed to eat, cows and chicken. So why don't they get rid of put a ban on us eating shrimp and fish, shellfish, clams and oysters and these things that we're not supposed to eat, that's in the laws that is governed by, that they're supposed to be protected, because these are the ones that clean the waterways. That's their purpose. That's why God created them on the earth. Yahweh created them so they can keep the waterways clean. They're scavengers. They're supposed to keep the waterways clean. But no, he's not going to do that, because he wants you to eat these defiled things so he can defile your temple. And these things go against the ordinance of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh. So anything Yahweh tells you to do, this man is going to tell you to do the opposite. So he makes these things a delicacy, eating shrimp, to eat lobster, to eat shellfish. And these things are destroying your body and is destroying the water at the same time. So it's crazy, you know, how this, you know, how he is done, how he's created, you know, this. And another thing too is, you know, they talk about the air was another thing. They worry about the air. So you so worried about the air, then why are you chemtrailing the airs? Why are you cutting down all the forests? And main thing they tell you about in Brazil, where they're burning down all of the forests and all that. Who's running Brazil? Evil Esau Edom. So Brazil is what's that called down there? The Amazon, which is supposed to be so heavily dense and populated with so much forestry, but they steady cutting it and burning it down, you know. And those supposed to be the lungs of the earth, you know. I think it produces almost like 30% of fresh air over the earth, but they constantly burn it and cut it down. It's not just there, but even in other countries. So this man is not worried about the air. He's not worried about the waterways. He's not worried about the environment, the ecosystem. This man is only worried about getting his agenda across. And I think it goes all the way back to the Georgia Guidestones. And if you get a chance to look that up, Edom was put out there, and I think it's supposed to keep humanity down to like 500,000 or something like that. But right now we up to 8 billion people. So this man has an agenda to wipe damn near 7 billion people off the planet, according to the Georgia Guidestones. And recently, that was in the paper because supposedly somebody blew it up. But me through the spirit believe that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh sent the chariot over there and struck it and destroyed it. But that's this man's agenda, man. It's not about saving the planet. It's not about looking out for the best interests of you people. His agenda, man, is looking out for the global elite, keeping the population down, damn near destroying the planet. And what you go back in scripture, what it say, you were supposed to be fruitful and multiply. We're supposed to populate the earth. Not the Lord knows what we can hold on this planet, Nowhere did he tell us to keep our population down, And to be honest with you, I think if you look it up, you can fit every human on the planet in Texas and still have a little bit of room around them. Because you have to realize this earth is, very big. It's very vast. But this man, if you listen to him, the earth is overpopulated. We can't take care of the people that we have on here, and that's through his ways, because he makes it so you have to have so many houses. He got the houses divided where you got a man living in his house, his wife living in that house, and that's following his ways of this devil, man. And that's part of his agenda, to keep us divided, keep us separated, so he can totally annihilate you. We're dealing with a bad scientist here, man. His only agenda is to destroy you and destroy this planet. This man want to create his own utopia. That's why they got this thing now called the metaverse, pretty much living a false reality. And that's where he think he can be his own God, man. Well, that's going to conclude for this lesson. I pray that was edifying, just kind of going through the spirit. I try to let the precepts speak for themselves, and just add my little part to it. But, I pray that was edifying. And with that, say shalom.